when your dog follows you everywhere in the house? Most people smile and say it is simply love. It feels sweet. It feels comforting. But very few owners ever pause long enough to ask a deeper question. Why do they really do it? Why does a dog stand up the moment you move? Why do they walk behind you from room to room? Why do they wait outside the door when you disappear for even a moment? At first glance, the answer seems simple. Your dog likes you. Your dog enjoys your company. But animal behavior experts say the truth runs much deeper than that. Behind this simple everyday behavior is something ancient that has lived inside dogs for thousands of years. Something rooted in survival. Something connected to emotion in a way that many people never fully understand. And if we ignore this behavior or dismiss it as clinginess, we might miss one of the most honest forms of communication a dog can offer a human. To understand this behavior, we first need to imagine the world from a dog perspective. A dog life is very different from a human life. Humans have jobs. Humans have friends outside the home. Humans have hobbies and places to go. Dogs have a much smaller world. For most dogs, their world is built around a single center. That center is you. From the moment a dog wakes up in the morning until the moment they fall asleep at night, their attention is naturally drawn to the person they trust most. Every movement you make becomes important. Every sound you make carries meaning. Every step you take creates a small shift in the dog universe. This is not just this is biology. Dogs evolved alongside humans for many generations. Over time, their brains became deeply tuned to human behavior. They learned to read our body language. They learned to watch our eyes. They learned that staying close to humans meant safety, food, warmth, and protection. Scientists who study dog behavior have discovered that when dogs look at their owners, something remarkable happens inside the brain. The same bonding hormone that connects a mother and her baby becomes active in both the human and the dog. This chemical response strengthens the emotional connection between the two species. So when your dog stands up and follows you from the living room to the kitchen, it is not simply a random choice. Their nervous system is guiding them toward the person they are biologically wired to stay near. And there is another moment hidden inside this behavior that most owners never notice. A small moment during the day when your dog following behavior reveals something powerful about how they feel about you. We will return to that moment later. But first, there is another reason dogs follow so closely that many people misunderstand. Have you ever noticed how your dog walks behind you? Not just somewhere in the same room, right behind you. Close enough that you sometimes almost trip over them. Many owners laugh about this habit. Some even feel slightly annoyed when the dog seems to be constantly under their feet. But in the language of animal behavior, this action has a very specific meaning. Dogs are naturally social animals. Their ancestors lived in groups where cooperation meant survival. Within those groups, members rarely wandered far from each other because separation meant danger. In that environment, staying close to the group leader or trusted member was a way to remain safe. Even though modern dogs live in comfortable homes, their instincts still carry pieces of that ancient pack life. When your dog walks closely behind you, it is a form of what researchers call shadowing. Shadowing means staying near the individual who provides security. From the dog perspective, distance can feel uncertain. Being close allows them to monitor your movement and remain connected to the center of their social world. This is why many dogs follow not only through large spaces but even into small rooms or hallways. They are maintaining the invisible thread that connects them to you. Another interesting detail appears when we observe how dogs behave in different parts of the house. Most homes slowly become emotional maps in a dog mind. Certain rooms are associated with excitement. Others are linked with comfort. And a few locations carry a sense of uncertainty. For example, the kitchen often creates excitement because food preparation happens there. The bedroom may feel calming because it holds the scent of the person the dog trusts most. But one place inside the house often carries the strongest emotional signal of all. The area near the front door. For many dogs, the door represents a mysterious threshold. It is the place where humans leave and disappear from sight. If you watch carefully, you might notice your dog following you toward the door and then suddenly slowing down or sitting quietly nearby. From the outside, this might look like simple waiting. Inside the dog mind, however, something more complicated is happening. The dog remembers that this location sometimes means separation. Even if you have returned safely many times before, the memory of you leaving still creates a small ripple of uncertainty. In this moment, your dog is not simply following you. They are watching carefully to see what happens next. There are also days when your dog seems to follow you more than usual. Perhaps they stay beside you constantly. Perhaps they lie near your feet every time you sit down. Many owners interpret this as a request for attention, but dogs possess an extraordinary sensitivity to human emotion. Their noses can detect subtle chemical signals in the human body. Their ears notice changes in breathing and tone of voice. Their eyes observe shifts in posture or energy. Because of this sensitivity, dogs often notice emotional changes long before humans realize them. If a person feels anxious, sad, or overwhelmed, a dog may respond by increasing their presence. They follow more closely. They remain nearby. They quietly stay within reach. The dog cannot solve the problem that caused the emotion, but they can offer companionship. Their presence becomes a silent form of support. Many people recall moments when their dog seemed unusually attentive during a difficult day. Perhaps the person had experienced stress at work. Perhaps something in life felt heavy or uncertain. Without words, the dog simply stayed close. That simple act of following becomes a message that says you are not alone. Yet there is another side to this behavior that many owners never expect. Sometimes the most important message appears not when the dog follows you everywhere, but when the dog suddenly stops following. Imagine a dog who has spent years walking behind you through the house. Morning after morning they rise when you rise. Room after room they quietly appear at your side. Then one day something changes. You stand up and walk into another room. The dog stays where they are. At first, this might not seem important. Perhaps the dog is simply resting. Perhaps they feel sleepy. But animal behavior specialists have observed that a sudden change in normal following behavior can sometimes signal that something inside the dog body is different. Dogs instinctively hide discomfort. This habit comes from their wild ancestors, where showing weakness could attract danger. Because of this instinct, many dogs do not immediately display obvious signs of illness or pain. Instead, the first clue can appear as a shift in everyday habits. Following a person requires energy and motivation. If a dog feels unwell, that motivation may quietly fade. They may rest more often. They may hesitate before standing up. They may watch instead of walking beside you. This does not always mean something serious is happening, but it is a reminder that paying attention to small behavioral changes can help owners understand their dogs more deeply. The act of following is not just movement, it is communication. Now we return to the moment mentioned earlier. The moment that reveals something extraordinary about the bond between a dog and a human. It happens every morning, before breakfast, before walks, before the day truly begins. Imagine the moment when you first begin to wake up. Your eyes open slowly. You shift slightly in bed. The room is quiet. What does your dog do at that exact moment? Many dogs are already watching. Sometimes they lift their head the instant they hear movement. Sometimes they quietly stand up before you even sit up. It may feel like coincidence, but dog behavior researchers have noticed something fascinating. Dogs who share a strong bond with their owners often adjust their sleep patterns to match the rhythm of the human they live with. Their sleep becomes lighter in the early morning hours. Their senses remain alert for the moment their human begins to wake. So when your dog is already awake and ready before the day begins, they may have been quietly waiting for the moment your day starts, waiting to see where you will go, waiting to follow. In that quiet moment, there are no commands and no expectations. There is only connection. A dog who follows you everywhere is not simply moving through the house. They are choosing to remain close to the person who defines their world. Every day, without hesitation, without conditions, without needing a reason. And perhaps the most meaningful part of this behavior is something humans rarely pause to consider. Your dog does not follow you because they have to. They follow you because they choose to.